Hello everyone and welcome to the 7th episode of the DevConnect show. Today our guest is from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. He is a Dynamics 365 technical consultant and a test-driven development enthusiast. He writes technical blogs and most of them have been featured in Power Platform Developer Weekly newsletter. He is a foodie by heart, but he also likes to play basketball and video games. Today, he is here to show us how to implement Azure Redis cache in plugins. So, let's welcome Temmy Raharjo. Hey Temmy, how are you?
Fine, Dennis. Thank
Yeah,
you. How are
I'm doing
you?
good. It's so nice to finally see you in video, and welcome to the DevConnect show.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. I'm very glad and also a little bit nervous also meeting you for the first time ever.
Yeah. Well, you are not that familiar. Like you started just blogging about it, and you are doing really amazing job with all your blogs, with all your content. I can see the knowledge that you possess with Azure, with Dynamics CRM, with plugins, with XRM frameworks and whatnot. But I want to hear from you, and let you introduce yourself to our viewers.
Yeah. My name is Temmy Raharjo. I'm from Indonesia. Currently, I'm working at one of the company in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, as a technical consultant. I'm also doing, like Dennis said, actually maintain one of my blog, temmyraharjo.wordpress.com. Actually, that's actually just like my notes for myself. If in the future I have a problem, then I will take a look on my blog post that one. But actually, first of all, I will say thank you so much for Dennis because actually you makes me more and more routinely blog because of your Power Mavericks, the Power Platform Weekly, that one. It's so amazing. Then thank you so much for that.
Yeah, no, I mean
I
it's
think
all you.
that's
It's your hard work, and you have been writing so many good blogs that I cannot resist myself not putting it in the newsletter. If I don't put your blogs in my newsletter, then I'm just missing out on the content that you're publishing. So, great job on that, by the way. So,
thank you so much.
yeah. Now, when we spoke earlier, you told me that you like to play some video games on your console. And I would like to know what kind of video games do you actually play on your console?
Actually, I'm just installing one game right now on my PC. It's NBA 2K 2021. But actually, I'm not playing the online one. So actually, I just like simulating playing teams versus teams offline only,
Hmm.
not online
So
version.
you
Yes.
like basketball a lot, right?
Yeah.
So
Actually, yeah.
so you play basketball as well?
Yes, actually, I'm playing actively since I'm primary school until university.
Wow.
So, like I told you before, actually in the primary school, that one, I'm being selected to represent my small city in Indonesia, Pekalongan. But as a that one uh, got competitions for city versus city, something like that.
Right.
But after that, actually one day before, I mean, uh, I got incident one, so I cannot fully compete in that games. So if you see in here, I got scarred
Oh,
because of
that's a
my
nasty
hands.
one.
My hands broke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in this one also, how to say, there's malpractice also from the doctor. So I need to cut 2 times operations to fix this one.
Okay. Yeah.
But,
But so something inside news as well. Like I also like basketball and I also play basketball. And even I have been playing basketball since my school days, and I also represented my city at one point. and yeah, intercity, and even we went to the state level matches as well. So, basketball to
Wow.
basketball player, which position do you play?
Now, funny thing is actually on the primary school that one, I'm very small ones. So I'm starting with a shooting guard, but after in the high school that one, I grew more bigger. So I'm going to forward and then center as well,
Oh, nice.
something like
Cool, cool.
that. But not really big. I'm just like yeah, my body more bigger compared to my friends actually.
Right,
So that's why the coach used me as a center or forward something like
right. Yeah, cool. So then now you have been writing blogs, which is really great, and I love the content that you put out in your blogs. But how did your journey with Power Platform or Dynamics CRM started?
So actually, my first job is actually just C# developer, but I'm knowing CRM actually since the 2015,
Mm-hmm.
which is my ex company, Technosoft, that one. So this company is actually creating products based on the CRM,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, they call it Dealer Management System (DMS). So basically, very heavy customization on the CRM, and also they combine it with the Asata, which is now become Dynamics uh, Finance and Operations, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in that company is actually I can say it's pretty good because there's really separations of role, which is we have like business analyst. There's a QA. In QA also we got manual QA and also automated QA as well. So my part is actually developer. So actually I really concern on the product on the Dynamics itself. So we actually consider uh, very early at that time. Now we can see in the Dynamics that one they can do like multi lookup. Now back then we actually do unsupported things to make multi lookup something like this one.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually got a lot of customization that actually not supported that time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because we make our products based on the Dynamics, so we do. So I starting the Dynamics CRM from the CRM version 2011. Then not long after that, changed to 2013, 2015 until Dynamics Online, something like
Hmm.
that.
Okay, so
But
you
yeah,
have worked since 2011 version in all the versions of CRM.
yes,
Okay,
correct.
okay. Now, I've also seen some of the blogs that you have written about like the one topic that we are going to discuss today about the Azure Redis cache or even the NEAM
Yeah.
XRM framework. I mean, where do you get all this content from? How do you learn like what's Azure Redis cache or what's NEAM XRM framework? I never even heard of NEAM XRM framework other than your blogs. So where did you get all this content from, or where do you learn this from?
Yeah. So what I can say one word is actually lucky, Dennis. So actually, when I'm uh, in that company in the Technosoft one, I met this person is actually my mentor, which is actually the name is Niam. That one. That's actually where the framework name is from. It's based on his name.
Oh.
So actually, he's my mentor, my friend. This one is actually always challenge me. So back then, before I'm starting playing with Dynamic CRM, actually the company not really like giving explanation how to do this, how to do that, the something like that. Now this friend is actually like challenging me, so he always like giving challenge to me. Back then, actually he asked me to make automated code exe, or can say something like that, to uh, export and import the solutions based on our that company format, something like that. And he also teach me the first time how to we can say test-driven development, and I'm very attracted to this concept. So he actually always challenging me about all these things until I can learn all those things. So basically, if you asking me about the cache as well, it's actually because the part of my work at that time is actually I'm maintaining the framework of the company. So we that time because we have a project with a big company, so that big company is actually also like considering performance also. So we always like checking the performance, is it good or not. That's why we always got cache. We also always doing load tests in the cache. That one we also do in the backend and also front end as well. Something like this. Like that. Now, this my friends is actually the one that makes that one. Uh, Actually makes a lot of things based on his experience. That's why the Niam SRM framework, that one is born. Now this one is actually the project, my friend's project, that one is actually not accepted by the company. That's why we just roll out in the GitHub as an open repository, so people can see and people can use also. This is
Nice. Yeah.
the history.
Yeah, good. Yeah, actually, it's good that you told that story because I was not knowing about it. So, thank you for that. So, what would be one suggestion that you would give our viewers about where to get your content? Like, you learned about NIAM XRM framework from your friend because he created it, but you also blog about few other things like Azure Redis Cache that we're going to see today, or something else. Like I've seen your blogs mentioning few other stuff too. Yeah. So where do you like how what would your suggestion would be for the viewers to get their content or get their learning experiences from? What should they do?
Mm. So far, actually, what I'm learning until now is actually the key concept is actually about simplicity, Dennis. So performance is one of the things that always being uh, asking from the customer or our boss, something like that one, right? So actually, based on that key concept, we always, this one is also what I learning from the test-driven development. We actually just stick on the one thing that we thinking is important. That's why if you see in the my blog post, that one I usually checking on the API, and then from that one I actually break down what's the problem that we can solve using the API. Is actually also the same things. So my suggestion is if you are willing to, yeah, learning about, let's say, dynamic CRM, something like that, then you just stick on that. Then after that, you go to based on that one, you break down all those modules. Then you just stick on the one part until you can do all the things, something like this. Then it's what I think is this one.
Yeah, but then now good that you brought up the test-driven development. So,
Yeah.
and you have been working with test-driven development for a while, right? How does
Yeah.
that experience, like when you were not using test-driven development and when you started doing the test-driven development, what was your experience like? What benefit do you see in doing TDD?
Nah, this one quite tedious answer actually, Dennis, because what I can say is actually test-driven development supposed to be adopted by the organizations. But in my case, it's actually just me and my friends and several friends that actually doing it. And it's very hard for us because let's say if we are not in the same uh, goal, in the same visions, I mean like I'm doing test-driven development, you are in my team, but you are not doing that one. It's very likely that it will stop one day because you're doing changes, then you just check in, and then you are actually not doing the test-driven development. Then it will finish, something like that. But the point for me from what I'm learning in the test-driven development is actually in the beginning it's very slow because we need to cope up with everything, the knowledge, and how we think about how to test one module, one code, or something like that. But afterwards, in the long term, actually our brain is more attached to it, and we actually, even we are not using test-driven development, our code result will be much more better compared to if we are never learning about test-driven development.
But then what if I
So
write
I
a
think it's
what if I write a code and let the automated process run all the test cases? Wouldn't that
yeah,
resolve some of the issues that we are seeing with the development? Or because so to be honest, I'm not that familiar with the test-driven development, so I'm not sure if I'm speaking the right terms or not. But I'm just thinking that whenever I'm doing any check-ins or anything, then wouldn't the automated test scripts identify the issues and then let you know if anything has been missed? Like, how is it different from that versus the TDD? Is like briefly.
yeah. So actually, the correct way then is what we can say if the organization really adopt the test-driven development that one. Actually, every time we're doing check-in, all the changes that one will be test again our automated test this one. So based on this one, if the test is one, if that things not running well, I mean there's a failed test on that it will stop the running process and then supposed to be given us the feedback from it. Then we need to fix that one first until we check in again. This is the correct way. But from my experience, it's actually our we are not until that DevOps until the test that one is also set in the CI/CD process.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is very hard for us because like I said before, the organization must adopt the test-driven development,
Right.
not individual teams members, something like
Right.
this.
Yeah. Which
This is
which totally
the
makes
problem.
sense. Yeah. Which totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Good to know about test-driven development. So thank you for that. Uh, so now you're gonna show us about Azure Redis cache, how to implement it, how to work in
Yeah.
the plugin, and then that would improve the performance. So whenever you're ready, if you want to share your screens so that you can show users how to implement it and how to use it and how to test with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I will share my screen now. So from the beginning, that one, we need to create a plugin project. Now I will open the developer command for the Visual Studio because I will use the plugin, sorry, ECF, uh,
The pack command.
yeah, ECF command. So in here, we need to go to the directory here. Sorry. And what we need to do is actually just doing this.
Nice use of the pack command already.
Yeah. So this is one of the things that I really love right now because it's very easy to make a plugin project. Uh, so after we finish this one, creating the plugin and opening in the Visual Studio, actually what we need to do is I'm gonna install two package, which is actually the first one is neon.sr framework because I'm
Obviously.
actually from this yeah from this demo, this one is actually not really necessary, but because I'm used to create plugin using this framework, so that's why I'm using
Yeah.
this
I,
one.
I figured.
Uh,
I figured once you started saying NEAM, I was like, yeah, okay, fine. You're gonna use NEAM framework. Let's use it. Okay.
yeah, then the second one is the Stack Exchange Redis, this one, which is the framework for the our Azure Redis.
Mm-hmm.
So here we
So,
creating these
so
things.
question here, isn't there
Yeah.
official Redis package available?
This one is actually from the documentation in the
Oh,
Microsoft.
really?
Dennis.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Uh, yeah. So actually, based on this one, our project actually done. We just need to delete all those default uh, files that in there. Then I need to copy entities because I'm lazy programmer. This is the generated. Uh, so I will copy first the entities, the generated early bound, our early bound things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in here, nothing special about this one. Then the second one, of course, I will create the business logic first. Um, so from here, for this demo purpose, actually, I'm creating one class, which is actually get account. Nah, I'm just copying paste Dennis
Mm-hmm.
for make it faster. So in here, actually, there's one class named get account. Uh, uh, Then inside this also we have cache class and also tracing service extensions. This tracing service extension is actually just helping us to do logging in the dynamic CRM,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually based on the eye tracing service one. Nothing special about this, but this one is actually
Mm-hmm.
extension. So every time we have the eye tracing service object, we just need to eye tracing service dot log string, something like this.
Right.
Then the second one important part is actually to catch this one, which receive eye tracing service and also the connection string of the uh, Azure connection, Azure Cache connection string, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
So
So
just like just so that viewers understand what's going on, right? So tracing service extension is the extension class that you have created for logging, right? Which could also go in its separate class file, right? It doesn't have to be in the get accounts file, right? And then again, your
yeah,
cache class that you have put in the getAccounts.cs file, that can also be implemented in its own class file, right? It doesn't have to be in this particular class file.
correct. So basically, the idea of this one is we put this one in the one file first. Then after that, if you already willing to share this project maybe to another plugin project, then you can make like share library or maybe share
Yeah,
project based on this one.
right. Yeah, shared project I
Yeah,
think so would make more sense because then we can share it across all the other plugin projects if there
correct.
are multiple one. Yeah.
Yes. So because this one just for simplicity to make everyone can pop up with
Yeah.
everything. So that's why I just put in the one file.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So this case is actually, like I said before, is actually dynamic CRM tracing service. So we can verify the result letter. Uh, Basically, in here we call the extension. Then we actually passing this one is the function. So in this function is actually we instance the database. Sorry, the database, and then this one line 66 is actually just checking is it the cache access or not. If the cache already accessed, then we just return the cache. Else, if the in here, if we don't have the cache, then we need to starting get this function, running this function to get the exactly the result, and then we put it in the cache in here. Then we return the result from
So
here.
what is so
Actually,
what is connection multiplexer?
This is the how we actually connect to the cache, Azure Redis cache, that one.
Oh, I see. And then, so this
Yeah,
entire code that we're seeing from line 63 to line 72, that's all based on Azure Redis cache.
yes,
Okay.
correct,
And then what does
correct.
this string get does? Like that line 66, what's the importance of
Yeah,
that?
so what I can say is this line 67 is actually about we calling the cache to verify the key that we have. So if the key already there,
Exist.
then we actually kept,
Okay.
yes, the it exists, then we kept the content and then return in the line 68.
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. And then if it
Yeah,
doesn't exist, then you're going on line 70 and then executing the function
yeah,
and then adding
the
that
real ones.
to the cache database with a key.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then the key is coming from the key is actually passed in the function. Okay. Makes sense?
yes, this one. So how to use this class is actually in here. So based on this demo, actually what I do is I just get the customer, which is actually all the account here, based on the state is active, and as long as the email address is not known. Then if we already get the customer, what we actually will catch is actually we pass this simple string.
Mm.
Actually customer, what I can say is customer ID and customer get email address is one.
Okay.
Just simple as this one. Then if we already got the result, the string that we wanted, actually the line 31 is set the one of the field string field called INS descriptions, and then pass this one. Just simple as this for this demo
Mm.
purpose. But for sure, it's impossible we do it like this in the real world scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one then is. So this one actually from the plugin side, actually already complete this one.
Mhm.
Then what we need to do, we just need to build this one.
So once I'm looking at this function on line 24 to 31, I understand what
Yeah,
it's doing, but then my only question is why is the cache class accepting a function and why not the data itself? Like why did you go with the function rather than the data?
yeah. Because if we actually calling this one first in the first place, meaning that we always executing the real function. That's why the this catch function is actually if we go back to the catch this one, why we need to running the pass the function instead of the data itself, because we will check first, is it the data exists or not. If we are passing the data, meaning that actually we already calling the data first before we put it in the cache.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're so
So
you
this
are
is
you're creating this function. That function is gonna need the data, and based on that
yeah
data you're gonna execute some logic. So that entire thing which needs the data to execute the logic, that becomes your function, which is getting passed in the second parameter of this get or add key function, correct?
yeah
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Or the simplest way is actually what we can say is this one is lazy function. Then is
Right.
yeah like this. Then actually this one finished. Uh, you just need to build.
Mhm.
Now the problem is from here because we have two nuggets, which first is the Neom SRM framework, and the other one is Azure Redis Cache. We got a lot of dependency uh, files in here.
Mhm.
So we actually need to merge this one. into one single file before we registering it in our dynamic CRM. So what we need to do, actually, I already prepared one data, one folder here. Now for this merging, we actually cannot use repack because in repack I already tried it. If we use the I'll repack that one, it will get error. That's why we actually need to use merge. So we just paste this one, then actually the command I already put in here. So what it do is actually the first one I will set the directory to this folder. Then I will create a variable called source here to actually put the source that one. So basically I will put this folder, can say like that, to simplify the command only. Then in the merge that one, we need to pass the parameter because in dynamic CRM we need to pass the key. So we need to pass this key file. Then after that, the second parameter is actually where we want to store the result, which I put in this folder in the result this one. Yeah. The third one is actually all these things is the related files that we want to put. After this one finishes, what we need to do is actually just run this one. Yeah, based on this, if we check, our result is this one, the plugin this one. Now, from here, our plugin finished, but we need to go to our Azure first before we trying the demonstration. So from here, we actually, if you never creating the Azure Cache, you actually can create Azure Cache for Redis. The name is Azure Cache for Redis, this one. It appears because I already making it. But if you willing to search, you also can search from here also as well. But I already opened this one. So basically, this one is my instance that I already created. But for demo purposes, I will create new one. But later on, I will not use this one because it takes around maybe like 7 minutes or something. So we will use the existing one. To creating the Redis cache is also very simple. We just need to select our resource group. Then we put the name, which I will put demo cache, something like this, let's say. Now, in here, we need to understand that the cache, this one is also related to the location, and then the cache type also. So if you must supposed to select the nearest locations at the, I mean, if your dynamic CRM in the East US, then you need to select the East US as well. Then the cache type, this one, the more higher means the more performance. But because I'm very rich, I will choose the cheapest one that is for this demo purpose. Then actually just need to review and create this one. Just like this. And then actually done. Now, this one will take longer time, so I will use this one. From here is actually pretty simple. Sorry. Pretty simple to get the access key. We just need to go to setting access key, this one. Sorry, is it too small? Or,
no, that's fine.
Yeah, we need to go to access key, this one. Then actually we just need to copy this connection string. Then from here we can save to the maybe in our this one notepad that I already prepared. Then what we need to do is actually just to register our plugin. The plugin actually I already installed here, but we also can update. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Dennis. I think you need to cut a lot of things in there.
We did not add the plugin
I,
class at all.
yes, we need to create the plugin class. So actually, we just need to this one pretty simple. Uh, in the NIAM SRM framework, that one we actually just need to uh, inherit from this one and also the I plugin from SRM SDK. Just as simple as this. Uh, then we just need to implement all those things. Then I can remove the unnecessary using that one in the top. Then in here, we just need to call the business class that we already create. Because this one is on create, then we just need to like get account. Then we pass the context. Execute. Niam SRM framework that one. Actually, if you see from here, plug in this one will pass the unsecure config directly. So we don't need to do like if the original that one we need to pass. Maybe if we create business
Mm-hmm.
logic, we need to pass the secure config or secure config in here. But in the because we're using the framework, it is more easier than
Right.
that.
But then
Yeah.
this new cache, can you go back to that class file again, that get accounts? So in
Yeah.
this, that new
Yeah.
cache, you're supplying the tracing service and the unsecure config, where the Azure Redis cache config file, connection string that you just copied would go in here as a second parameter, right?
Yeah.
Now we could either
Got
pass it as an unsecure config, secure config, or we can even pass it as as an environment variable as well,
environmental.
right? So that's all up
Right.
to the configurator.
Yeah. Correct. So this one, yeah, because I don't want to put it the unsecure config in the, I mean, hard code that way. So we're just using
Yep,
this one.
makes sense.
What we need to do is just build this one. Uh, then I will copy again the file to the merge folder, which is this one. Then you just need to run again. Yeah. After finish, we need to you just need to update this one. Now, in the yeah, so in here is actually simple. I'm actually registering this plugin into the create message. This one is the entity that I already prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Then what we need to do is based on the last the connection string, we just need to pass this one.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is three operations. Then we just need to update the step, and it is done. So now from here, we can go to our CRM. But because we will checking the result, so we need to go to advanced setting first, and then make sure our plugin um, tracing service, that one, the setting is always on.
Mm-hmm.
So we just need to go to administration, then in the system setting there. Uh, Now, we just need to go to customization and then make sure that enable logging to plugin trace log to all, because we just want to verify the cache working or
Mm-hmm.
not.
Right.
If you already in the all that one, we just need to okay. Then we can testing the result. So this is the app that I already created. This is the active account that CRM already given us the sample data.
Right.
So this is the entity that I already prepared. So basically, because the plugin step earlier we set as a in the create process, what we need to do is actually we just need to test this one. But before that one, I will open this one. Then check in the advanced one, that one. This one's still empty. Then we can do the saving for the first time. When we do the saving for the first time, suppose the system will calling the exactly the real function. That's why it will take more longer. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Now, this is our cache that we put. So in here, the total second is 1 seconds, 0.1. Then the result is actually this one. As you can see, nothing special about this one. So we actually want to verify, is it our cache working or not? So we can do is create one more. That's unsaved. Then we can go to advanced line again and wait until the result comes out. Yeah, this is the second one. Now, as you can see, there's a difference already.
Yeah. And you didn't had a lot of data. You had like 10 records, and with just 10 records you see half, like 50% reduction in like increase in performance. So yeah, that's great. I mean, that's big.
Yeah, Dennis. But the one thing that I want to stress out is actually when we do performance like this, catching data, we suppose not do it in the first time. We need to make sure. We need to have a benchmark before and after doing that. Is it worth it or is it not worth it? That's why what I'm thinking is the catch class that we want to implement should be common as possible. That's why when we want to turn it on, it's very easy to implement. And if we want to get rid of it, it's easy also
Yeah.
for doing that one. Yeah.
But then how?
So this is the
Yeah, but then how do you maintain the cache data? Because cache data sometimes gets invalidated because there might be some updates happening on the account records. So how do you validate whether we need to recache it again?
now actually from this class from the DLL that we use, actually we can put it like something like sorry, where is it? Yeah, so in the strings of this one, we actually can, there's a two-way for doing that one. The first one is actually we can use the time expiry in this one, which means that actually we can set, maybe we want just to uh, sketch as maybe 1 hour or maybe 8 hour as what you like. But the one thing that possible is actually based on the name. So whenever got changes or something, we need to change the name if really willing to creating new cache or something. So this management is actually a little bit tedious also for this part.
Okay.
So yeah, is we need to change the plugin, or is it for maybe for this part for the naming this one we also need to do something to make it can work like what we wanted.
And is there any way we can clear the cache on, let's say, in the CI/CD process or in the ALM process? Is there any way we can clear the cache maybe using PowerShell? Is there anything available? Do you know?
Yes. So suppose in the Azure that one, in here there's we put. So actually we also can ask the Azure to clear the cache
Mm-hmm.
directly from there.
Okay, because I'm
Yeah.
thinking whenever the master
Mhm.
data, nowadays everyone is focusing in ALM processes, right? So I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
if you have a master data in dev and you have the same master data on UAT and let's say production, now you deployed your master data from dev to let's say QA, right? Whenever you're doing that
Mm.
ALM, whenever you're kicking off your pipelines and you're moving the data from dev to um, QA, you want to make sure that your
Mm.
cache is getting cleared before, like all the plugins.
Yeah.
If the cache gets cleared, then all the plugins will be recaching the data again. So your master data is always constant and always true,
Correct.
right? So that's what I'm. That's why I asked that
Yeah.
question, because I was thinking from the ALM perspective, because caching is really good, but then you also have to get the consistent
Problem.
data and the real data that is existing, and not the data that has expired or old data, right? So
Yes. So come back again for the management of the gaps. This one also, yeah, we need to understand as well. So for this part is actually, if you see in the Azure Cache for this is one, suppose there's a way to actually calling the people data, this one from maybe PowerShell or something
mm-hmm.
that we can use for it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
great.
that's all. Yeah.
Yep. Well, this was nice seeing. The only thing that is bothering me is, why does it say stack exchange.redis? That's the only thing that is bothering me right now, because it's supposed to be Microsoft build. So I was hoping that I would see Microsoft, but anyway, whatever we have got. But the way the way you showed us how to use caching mechanism, that opens up a good amount of thought process, at least in how we can cache the master data, so that we don't have to retrieve that master data every time then whenever we are running plugins. So that's
Yes, that is. So this is the document that actually I'm following that one. It's from the Microsoft itself. So this is the real, I mean, I'm not sure it's real from the Microsoft or what, but it is what it is. Then
yeah.
this is from
They
Microsoft.
might have they might
Yes.
have brought it over from something. That's why that namespace stick. But anyway, well, thank you, Timmy, for showing this
Yeah.
nice tool, and yeah, hope I get an opportunity to like I get a scenario where I can actually start implementing this, uh, because there are very
Yeah.
few projects that I have actually implemented caching. I do see the advantages of it, um, and yes, we have used master data, but somehow we never think about performance, and I think that's a key point, right? You have to do the benchmarking before implement caching, implement tracing, implement a lot of other performance enhancements features in your plugin projects, or in your even in your custom API. Now custom APIs are getting more and more like focus. So
Easier.
yeah, so I think so we should be thinking about the performance of the system as well whenever we're building it. And a lot of the times, because projects are so small, like tight, on tight schedules, you have to ship things out, you never actually look at the performance. But that's a very key point that you have brought up today to our attention, is also look at the performance and start implementing caching so that you can get better performances. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I hope this one also helping people also, but also thank you for you also, Dennis, because you inviting me to here.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Yeah.
talk to you later.
Very honored to be invited by you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As you can see, folks, performance really plays a crucial part when building your plugins and custom APIs. One way of doing it is through caching. Not only that, but keeping the data current in the cache is also one of the biggest challenges that you'll have to keep in mind. Another key part is to look at the metrics before the performance improvements are done and after the performance improvements are implemented, and then really look at how much performance gain are you achieving. Now, to follow Temmy on social media, the links are provided in the video's description. Don't forget to follow me on social media. Hit the like button on this video and don't forget to subscribe for more such content. See you in the next episode of the DevConnect Show.